Thank you. I'd like to thank the chair and members of this committee this evening for hearing our testimony. My name is Krestin Bahr, and I'm proud to serve as the superintendent of Eatonville School District in Pierce County. We're a small district, rural, of 1,850 students at the base of Mount Rainier, and this last year we had 96.5% graduation rate. We support the intent of the previous legislation, and we do thank you for the heroic efforts that it took to get this accomplished. So we want to start with that. But as we have learned how we are affected, and we feel more and more compelled to address the unintended consequences of past legislation to ensure it does not negatively impact our school district or our employees. Eatonville School District is finding that we are negatively impacted from the last legislation in 3 distinct ways: levy limitation, regionalization, and staff mix, and communication of past legislation. We have signed in for support of all 3 bills, but I'd like to speak to 2 main items this evening. The first issue has been the reduction of levy capacity. Currently we're at $3.56, and reducing that to $1.50 per 1,000 is a reduction of $2.06, or over 50%. $1.50 per 1,000 does not generate the same from district to district, and that's really what we're finding. It does create inequity. So our northernmost neighbor, who is 1,400 students in a non-high district, can generate a levy amount of $6.65 million with $1.50, compared to our district that can generate $2.1 million with our $1.50, and we do have a high school. That is a difference of $4.55 million, or 3 times as less the amount. And this is a direct result of the levy swap. We understand that there is no new money, but in this time of transition, and as we struggle to realize the changes, we are asking for flexibility and the ability to delay the new LEA levy policy. We do support Section 9 and 16 in House Bill 2721. We also have no regionalization. Our staff mix formula to average salary allocation we fall $400 for every prototypical school teacher that we have. We do feel like double losers because our neighbors do have realization. In fact, Eatonville is the only school district in Pierce, King, Snohomish, Skagit, Kitsap, and Whatcom counties that has been negatively impacted in this area. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Chair and members of the committee, I'm Ronda Litzenberger, Eatonville School Board President. I'd like to recognize the extraordinary efforts put into the passage of House Bill 2242. This bill has increased funding to Washington schools. For this, we are grateful. However, it is not a perfect solution yet. Winston Churchill once said, "To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often." School funding is complicated and will require we evaluate and consider many changes before achieving the perfect funding model for education. While many schools will receive additional funding, Eatonville will not. Attracting new teachers to rural communities is difficult. Many of our teachers live and raise their families in Eatonville. They are educated and very experienced. The new salary allocation does not recognize any experience factor and does not give Eatonville any regionalizations. In fact, under the new funding model, we are $400 per teacher short in meeting our current contract obligations. We simply won't be able to afford teachers we have, and we will not be able to attract young, inexperienced teachers. A change that could help allow our current pay schedule to remain intact and consider using regionalization to incentivize teachers to work in small school districts. While conducting local levy meetings, we found a lack of knowledge and misinformation is creating an environment of distrust and confusion. There's an assumption that McCleary has solved all school funding problems and levies are no longer needed. It is true some additional funding will come to our district, specifically for special education, transportation, and other categorical expenses. However, we will still rely on our levy to address unfunded mandates and funding gaps for special education to the tune of $400,000, a $300,000 shortfall in food service, and an additional $250,000 to transportation. Out of what is left, we need to fund a nurse, counselors, social workers, paraprofessionals, arts, STEM, music, athletics, and the list goes on and on. Without the state's additional funding, but with the help of our local levies, we have achieved a 96.5% graduation rate, as well as many other awards and accolades. Please do not take away the community's rights to support our schools. Levy restraints in 2242 leave us with more than a $2 million net decrease in funding, a loss of almost 10% of our entire budget. What can you do to help? Delay the implementation of the new levy and LEA policy until a more equitable levy reduction plan can be developed. And support a hold harmless, as in 27-21, to ensure districts like Eatonville will receive more funding in the next 2 years and not less. Thank you for the good work you do. Together, as we address one change at a time, we can make Washington schools the perfect place to educate future leaders.
Thank you.